The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Good evening, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 334 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. That's right. We're calling this one a great start for a very obvious reason as we kick things off for a new season in style against our old nemesis, the Seattle Sounders. Of course, this did break a record, right? 7 in a row at home. Pretty nice. Gotta say. Of course, we can't get into this thing properly unless we bring our boys on tonight. We've got Bam, we've got Tony in the mix. Araceli is in New York putting in hard work. Again, nothing but love for Araceli. We can't wait to have her back on the air again. Bam, how are you doing today?
I'm good. The league's back, the season's back, so we're ready to rock and roll. You know, we do what we do and win the first game of the season, but we get into that a bit later on.
Yeah, we're gonna cover the match with Seattle. We're gonna cover RSL, a day match. What? An early one? Yeah, it's on. We're gonna cover that. We'll talk a little bit about the league as well and the replacement referees a bit. We're definitely gonna cover everything you guys want to talk about. So definitely leave your comments as soon as you can. Get them up there. We will definitely list them and get going. Probably midpoint of the show, I'd say, to hear you guys out. Because if there isn't reactions after this one, I'm not sure if you got a pulse. This one was good. This one was real good. So let's get right into it. So LAFC plays Seattle, 2-1 victory. Day game again. What's the day games? Yeah, I know. 1:30 kickoff. It was a little bit warm. You can ask Tony up in the capo stand. It was super warm. Of course, goals by Tillman, Bogusz. The other side, well, the new guy. We'll get deeper into it. Of course, lineups were interesting for this one. We went, of course, with our 4-3-3. They had some injuries, so they had to switch things up and went this time with a 4-4-2. I know what. What are you doing, Seattle? Breaking the rules after 20 freaking years or something? But that's what happened. Goalkeeper was a change. They had Andrews in net. Cardoso and Reagan were their center backs. We had Roldan and Tolo as their outside backs. No shock there. Atencio and Vargas held it down in the middle with Roldan on the other side. And Leo Chu. Up top was Rui Diaz and Morris. Yeah, an interesting setup. Of course, important subs for them later in the game that we will cover because they did have a dynamic change for them. What did we do? Shocker. Most of it we knew it was going to be, right? Murillo and Long were in the back. Campos, Hollingshead, we're outside backs. Lloris, goalkeeper. Sanchez, Tillman, Atuesta. So Atuesta did get the start for this game for very important reasons, though, because you had Olvera on the right, Bong on the left. Your center forward for the day, Mateus Bogusz, which there was a rumor about that, and it turned out to be true. That Bogusz was going to be the starter for this game. Yeah, paying dividends pretty well, I gotta say, and we'll cover that. So I'm gonna go to you, Tony. By the way, Tony, how are you doing after all that time in the capo stand?
Doing pretty well. A little sunburn, a little dehydrated. I think I drink more water than I usually do in a day. So good on hydration, but bad just overall. That heat creeped up on us, not gonna lie, because in the morning it was really cold, and then just that heat just hit us really hard. So yeah, it was a fun game. So I'm glad, but I'm glad to move forward and let's talk about this game because it was a fun one. The new systems that we had involved. So
without a doubt. So what were our highlights and lowlights for this thing?
The highlight, lowlight, I guess, would be Bouanga hitting the crossbar the whole game. But for the first half, he was like,
yeah.
It was him pretty much playing the crossbar game the whole time with a lot of chances. But with that being said, it was more of us attacking at full front because we usually old LAFC, even when Vela was in his prime, was very slow up in the third part of the field. Now it's more of a go. Shout out to also the newest player, Omar Bravo, which fit in perfectly in the left back position.
Oh, Campos.
Sorry. Yeah. Campos. Omar Bravo is a former Chivas USA player. My apologies. Omar Campos Oh wait, was he from Chivas? I don't. Did I just say Chivas
No.
USA? I think I was thinking. Okay,
Yeah, Guadalajara, man.
yeah. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
hold on. I don't think he played for that side, but well, most Chivas played. But anyways, off topic. So, so he fit in perfectly in that one. We didn't skip a beat missing on the left hand side, but overall, there's a lot of moving forward craziness. I thought we were gonna go 0-0 into the half, but until the man I just mentioned, Omar Campos, with a nice cross with almost with Dini getting the goal, but he kind of ducked or it kind of went over him and felt perfectly to Tillman, and he slotted it in really well, and we go into the half 1-0.
Yeah, the communication there was outstanding when Tillman's like, "Do not," right? And yeah, Bouanga was perfect on the play, just let it go. And everyone was focused on him, right? Why wouldn't they be? And just kind of shuttled that ball into the net. I gotta say, Campos throughout this entire game, and I'll just throw it out there, is the solution. There's no doubt he's naturally there, doing the work, doing the hard work. There were some defensive plays that were critical from him, uh, putting those guys in fits at times. It was good to see, really good to see. Very efficient player. We got lucky again, or we scouted well again. Let's be honest.
Mhm.
And he looked the part. Uh, but yeah, getting the assist, absolutely awesome. 45 minutes. Well, we left it late, right? In that first half to finally get something going.
Yeah, well, it was coming. We already knew it was coming with all the opportunities that were going in, especially like I said, the final third, it was a lot faster. It was all right. We see people moving the ball faster. We're trying to look for the cross. We're trying to get it in, and we're shooting as well from outside. So it was nice to see that because again, most of the time it's always been like, all right, we get there and we stall for a second, let their defense set up, unless Boanga's on the run and Orvella in his prime had like the opportunity, the shot outside with his left foot going in, and that's how we would score most of our goals. But now it seems like it's faster pace. They have to keep up with us on all ends, midfield as well. Again, Atuesta didn't even know he was gone until like it was nice to see him, and he felt like he never left us. You know what I mean? Picked up right where he left off, coming back from.
Stepped in natural,
Mhm.
honestly. What his role is, right? He's very efficient in what he does. Makes it look a little bit easier than it should be at times, right? Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, effortless almost. It was nice to see him back, and he fits the system. He knows the system. He's not shocked by what we do here. He knows the approach. I will say, death by transition seems to be our new mantra. That if you really want to press up against us, we're going to beat you up for it. And that's what we saw. Quick into it. I think the only part of foul might have been Ilie Sanchez's haircut, but that would be about it. We'll let that go. I'm still trying. What? You're gonna get sunburns like in Lions, man. I'm just saying. Um, Tillman, I think, was struggling in that first half until he had his moment. And then
Mhm.
at that point, looked like he it let the edge off for him to be more effective. So first half wise, like I said, it looked like he was laboring a little bit, forcing some things, but nothing cures than anything like a well placed goal. So yeah, all good there. Impressions of the first half, ma'am?
For me, coming back from a bit of after last year's final, seeing us get back on the horse, get back into winning ways, and playing as a team in a different style so quickly was good. The new players, Campos and all that, first half stepped up, showed them what they're doing. Lloris in goal had some amazing stops in that first half.
Yeah.
It shows you, yes, we've lost two great keepers, but we've got another great keeper in. So
You,
looking
you
forward
traded
to
great
what
for world
happens.
class, right? I mean,
Oh,
that's what you did.
100%.
You did trade up. Yeah.
100%. And a big surprise for me was seeing a Twister start. I thought maybe he might come on as a sub, but seeing him start and seeing him get back into, as Tony said, he never left. He fitted
No,
straight in.
it was the quality is there. He is who he is. And we'll get into Bogus in a few seconds here because, yeah, it took us 45 minutes to finally get the goal in a game that we were definitely owning. but we didn't have to wait much longer in the second half to get it right. So, Tony, I'll throw it back to you. Second half, highlights and lowlights.
The highlight is we get not even 10 minutes into the half is the goal of the week. LeBron, shut up.
Yeah.
The goal of the week with Bogus assisted by Buanga, which it was a nice, outside the box curler, just slotted in really well. And, again, it came back to the quick transition, the movement of more creative play, I think is the best way to say that, because it's like I feel like now they have more room to be more active, to move around, to do what they want, and be, not just be like, we have to do this, this, and this. It's all right, if you have the shot, take it, and that's what he did.
Yeah, we had one guy that would kill us for the left foot, right? Now we got
Mhm.
the guy on the right foot. And that's our switch off, right? Now we do our attacks from that side, and you get hung on that side. It's Tolo's happy, right? Tolo's happy against us and deal with Vela, but now you got the Bogus to deal with, man. And if that's what we're gonna get from this guy every week, which is a hard ask because it was a great game by him, dude, not bad, not bad. And honestly, could you place it any better? Really, I mean, it hit so well that it didn't even spring. It just went bunk. It just died in that corner. Like,
Well,
what is
it
it?
could have been
For a
placed a
second, we're sure it
little.
was in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it could have been placed a little bit better. Let's be honest, and I mean that as more of like just hit the net and just hit the corner, but had to hit both the crossbar and the ball and then the pull, and then it goes in. You know what I mean? Like it was already in at that point, but it was like, let me hit both sides, like the bottom, the top, and the bottom, and then and go in. You know what I mean?
Well, it hit that weird stanchion that hangs off the goal.
Yeah.
Like the quick goals are this version of the goal that we're using this season has a really weird play off the back to hold the net out, to the point where if you do hit in the upper corner, you're going to hit metal. Like it just,
Mhm.
you are, because the way it's designed. But dude, it was pretty. It's just so pretty. He earned it. He earned the goal of the week. We've watched all the highlights from the league this week, and there's no question that was the
Mhm.
best. It was clearly the best. Let's hope for more. That's for certain. And keep doing that one. Boy, it's going to be beautiful. All right. So, of course,
Mm,
not all things were perfect. Not all things
mm,
were golden.
no,
We
they
did
were
have
not.
one moment that was a little rough, of course. Questionable, too. We'll talk about that, of course, Tony. Let's get into the controversial moment in the 73rd minute.
Before we get into that controversial moment, there was some substitutes on their end. In the 58th minute, the Moose came back, coming in for Rui Diaz. Cody Baker came in for Roldan, and then a couple minutes later, we had Leo Chu come out, and Vega came in, and as well as Nathan came out as well, and the Javier Herrera, I think that's how you say his name.
Yep.
Came in as well. And then the 72nd minute, that's when it all happened. That's when he got the card. But in that transition, why he got that yellow card was there was a play on the box. Could have gone both ways. In the moment, it didn't seem like he clipped him. He just a soft touch in the box, and goes in. The weird part about it was in that same transition, we almost had a goal. And that could have been taken away because VAR called it back. Fortunately, there was no controversy on that. But Vega puts away, Vega, the new star, the one they paid a couple millions for, said, this is your opportunity. Let's see what you got against, of course, our new goalkeeper in Lloris. He went right, Vega went left, and goal 2-1. And pretty much that was said and done. Well, we had some substitutes, of course. Palencia showed up for Oliveira. You can tell that we were going more defensive. Atuesa came out as well and Ordaz came in. Tillman decided to get a yellow card just to, keep, get himself a little thing. And then, of course, in the 93rd plus minute, we saw the return of Eddie Segura coming in for Ryan Holland-Zed. So, and that was it. 6 minutes of extra time. I like our new style of play, especially with you can tell with Lloris how he plays and the proper world-class keeper that we have. And mind you, it was a bargain. I know. Shout out to Max. for everything that he's done. Family friendly for right now. F you, McCarthy. I don't care if you're chasing the bag. F you. Don't do that. But thank you for the ring and still F off.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'll throw it to you, Bam. Impressions on the match.
Great way, as I said, great start of the season. You know, the new players have started greatly. Watching the replay, yeah, it was a penalty. There is contact, and when there's contact, that's where it is. I'm going to say something here too. 4 replacement refs, so far they've been quite good. I would take that same ref again later on in the season. You know, he's still young. Trying to find information on him, it's hard. Like I found that he was refereeing some of the Christian College League and all that, doing some research on him. But you know what? As a replacement ref, yes, he took a little bit longer on the VAR, but I'd rather that. He let a lot of stuff go. It wasn't very whistle friendly. So for me, he gets a tick in my book. But yeah, going into it, seeing players come back, Eddie Segura back on the pitch, plenty to come off, Ordaz go out there as well. New system. Let's see how it goes week 2. And let's see if we can keep the ball rolling.
That's the plan. I will say this. Why I called it controversial. He's reviewing it for 5 years over there. Forever and ever. I don't know what's going on. And while he's reviewing it, they announce on the board that a penalty was called. He's still looking at the TV, and the board is saying decision penalty. So I wonder with these replacement refs, is the call coming from New York or is the call coming from the field? It feels like he was told, hey, it's a penalty. But maybe you want to decide on the cards. It comes off that way. And then he goes back again. It was really, really weird. And it happened in multiple games where, man, it seems like when it goes to VAR, you know the decision is going to be made by the guy upstairs, not the guy on the field. Because, well, you're new at this, and I know a little better than you. I'm getting the impression. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah. Man. Oh, no, you could be completely agree right at the same time. Like, I didn't know they had put up on the board already because all I'm seeing is him standing around the VAR. Yeah, I know that. But if you take away that bit, that VAR, the 5 minutes VAR, like as I was saying on the broadcast, yes, it's taking a long time, but for replacement refs, you want them to do that. You take the extra bit of time on there. But take away that too, he let the game flow quite a lot. He let the game play out how it was, and you don't get that with a lot of the MLS pro referees. So for me, looking at that, if as long as he keeps doing that, hopefully he can end up getting a spot on pro referees because he did seem like a fairly decent referee.
That I think is probably the most impressive thing that I've noticed throughout the entire league this week. Yes, they make mistakes, right? There are flaws, right? But it doesn't come off like they're dictating the flow of the game, which pro referees tend to do a lot. Like, there seems to be in this league some preferences. I didn't get that vibe. Both sides had complaints. And I've watched all the games in the league from what I could, and it was like both sides are kind of jawing, but it wasn't like one side's just totally getting the calls. It didn't come off like that. And with the pro refs, I'm not crazy. I know this, but we see it. It looks like there's a finger on the scale a lot. That's the vibe I get. That doesn't exist quite yet. Maybe they're just too new. Who knows? Tony.
I do have to mention something, and I forgot to, and it's a very important one. And I noticed it from just watching our game, and I need to watch the other ones to see how well they was executed. The new rules, if you noticed, of when a player falls down and is down for a while, you have to bring the medical staff. So I don't know if it was shown on the broadcast again after rewatched the full game just said, but from being at the stadium and watching the fouls in front of us, how quick it was. Oh, I'm down. Okay, we're gonna go. No. I'm okay. I do like this new system because now it's forcing players to no longer fake and try to waste time because now they're like, wait, if I'm down, and because they realize, oh, I'm going to be gone for a minute or two. I forgot what the actual ruling was, but it's a good amount where it's going to be costing them a player and that could cost them a goal. But it was very nice to see that. It was very nice to see that once they realized what they're like, oh, I'm gonna waste time to get my players a break, but then realizing the new rules that are in place for this situation, how quick they were like, no, I'm okay, and gets back up quickly.
Especially the faking of the head injury, and that was hilarious from the Seattle player because he goes down, he's holding his head, and the minute he realizes what's going to happen, he goes, "Oh, it's my shoulder," and I thought it was classic. Don't check me. I'm good. It was my shoulder. It was the funniest moment because you realize, oh, he now remembers the rules. Well, dude, come on, man. Like, I probably should have been a yellow card for simulation if you're faking an injury, right? But hey, he still had to walk off though. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll take that. The games that this is a positive effect on the game. That this new rule, it will keep it going. I'll take that. I'll take that. So, overall impressions, B+ for the rest so far. I'd say. I'll give them that. They barely break a C with pro. So,
More,
So-
like I
so-
said, with the new refs, I do like them. With pro, I hope they get what they want. Again, as much as we do complain for
of course.
them, like there is a lot of money and there's still a lot of left on the bag because they're like at the end of the day, they're not making much. You know what I mean? It's not like a crazy they're buying mansions or anything. It's they want a livable living with good benefits and rights on what they need to do. So
100%.
as much, yeah, exactly. So as much as we want to clown on them and their performance and everything stuff like that, at the end of the day, we still support them in what they're fighting for.
Yeah, 100%.
No, it's
You look
legitimacy
at
of the league.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at two. You want good refs, you got to offer good money. Plain and simple.
Oh yeah, definitely. They got to work towards something. That's for sure. Not being a temp. That's for certain. Yeah, we clown on them because it's fun to clown on them. I mean, who doesn't like clowning on the referees? But yeah, we want it to get fixed. It needs to be fixed. This can't last forever. It won't last forever. Something's got to give. Even when they get the better deal, when it's going to happen, you got to realize most of these guys have a second job, an actual day job on top of this, and that's the reality of it. Where the players, they don't have to deal with the day job. This is their game. This is what they do. But the refs, on the other hand, don't. And it's a weird concept. Because in other leagues, right, they're paid well enough where this is what you do. But ours not yet, which I get. I understand. But we need to move forward with it. That's for certain. All right. Looks like I got about 9 comments. Before we get to the comments, though, Bam, are we going to talk about 3 stars?
We can get right back into it. So we're bringing that back for this year.
Let's go for it.
Thanks to everyone that did vote on Twitter for it. For me, for this game, I'm going to go. My 1 star would be. I'm going to go with Tillman for 1 star. My 2 stars going to be Campos, and my 3 stars going to be Bogus.
Ooh, there we go. Tony.
Overall performance, best one, I would give it to Campos. He's again, he is replacing a very valuable player in Chiki. So I will give him the star because he was a very impactful the whole game on the defensive end and offensive end. The second, I'll go give it to. I'll give it to Bogus because the goal was a goal of the week. So I'll give him the higher one, and then I'll give it to Tillman because he had to battle back from a funk throughout the first half, and that goal inspired him. Scoring the goal inspired him to come back and play a better game moving forward.
There we go. All right, my 3 stars. 3rd star, Denny Bouanga. Why? None of this happens without his work in this game. I mean, he was everywhere. He was lights out. He's on another level. So I gave him the 3rd star because honestly, nobody gets open without what he does. 2nd star, it's got to be the new boy. It's got to be Campos. He looked great in his role, stepped right into it. Those are big shoes to fill, right? With Chiki going away, and he did just fine. Exactly what we needed from him. And of course, 1st star to me is Matty Bogus, who, let's be real, Did you expect him to be there in this game? And did you expect him to be that effective in this game? Hell no, right? When you saw the lineup, you're like, what? And then he gets goal of the week. Well, if you don't get first star for that, man, come on, he earned it. There's no doubt. Let's see what he does against RSL. There we go. All right, Bam. What's the total scores then? Throwing it at him.
Adding it up right now. Give me one quick moment. So from the fans, I pretty much copied the fans. They went Tillman in third, Compos second, Bogus first. So at the moment, Bogus would be in the lead going by my quick stats, bro. Give me 2 minutes and I'll get that back to you once we've done the Black and Gold 1 o'clock.
There we go. All right. Want to jump to the Black and Gold? We could do that. A little out of order, but hey, man, we don't have order here. You already know that. So, all right, let's throw it over to the Black and Gold Vinyl Club minute. Then we can get everybody's comments and get in the community. All right. So for this week, for very obvious reasons, if you were at the game, you saw there was a certain celebrity. I don't really like calling him a celebrity because dude's more than that. Zach De La Rocha actually did show up for this game, which he has before quietly many times. But this time decided to go to the circus in the corner, man. Go to the madness in the corner. And he decided to get a walk out to us, which has been rare. Like we haven't had that often last year. And so he came over and paid a visit to the North End, shaking a lot of hands. I got to say hi to him as well, which was really, really cool. And of course, for the game itself, we do artwork for the lineup cards every week. And this week it was Aaron Long on the Evil Empire Rage cover. That's what it was for the lineup card, which looked pretty darn cool. And if that's the case, cool. We'll play along with that. So we're going to go with Evil Empire by Rage Against the Machine for album of the week. You're like, why that one? Well, I don't know. I was in high school at the time. Now that just dated myself. But hey, when that album came out, look, Bulls on Parade, People of the Sun. Come on. It's Rage, guys. People of the Sun, probably the best song to say when, this game kicked off. So there you go. But yeah, we're going to go with Evil Empire, 1996. Good Lord. It's a long time ago. But there it is, our album of the week. Yes, ma'am?
Do you want to feel really old?
I
was 9. I wasn't even 10 when that album came out. I was 9.
What year was that?
Couldn't even buy the album.
96.
You couldn't even buy the album, sir. Sorry. Tony wasn't born yet, but whatever. No, I'm kidding.
96, I was 9 or 10.
Yeah, you guys are the same age. So
Yeah.
The fact you had to think about that. He's still got a sunburn. Can you tell? No, I'm messing, dude. But yes, Zach De La Rocha was there, which was totally awesome. Hopefully he can talk Tom Morello into visiting us too. Which
that'd be sick.
Too cool. Right? That'd be sick. Maybe Mr. Wilk will join them. We'll see. But yes, Rage at the game. That's just amazing. So there's that album of the week. All right, so let's move on to your comments, guys. I love to hear what you guys think. I mean, if you don't have reactions, like I said, I feel bad for you. So here we go. Who's the first in? Dave makes it on first. Says hello, LAFC familia. Jose Bernal in the mix too. All love to you, sir. Says, hola, just got out of work. Right on time to see you guys. Let's go. I know it's an off night. Wednesday is not our normal night, but hey, we got to do this. Dave Gomez says, we will see David Martinez this weekend. So I like that you bring this dude up because where we stand, we see the warm-ups, and it was probably the weirdest warm-up I've ever seen because it's all these little children and then like one veteran. Not talking smack, but it was kind of cool to see these really young, highly talented players on our side. And he was one of them. He was warming up. So he looks ready. He looks fine. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets minutes. Not in the slightest. I mean, we're on the road. You're playing RSL, playing our third game of the season. So you can see it happen. Dave says, I like Campos. He looked very good. Yeah, man. He was I'll say this. He plays above his age. Very competent player. No doubt about it. Heady for sure. Jose Bernal says, Atuesta and Campos, very interesting players. These two are going to make good plays. They are. There's no doubt about that. Black and Gold Phil in the mix. Nice to see you on here, sir. Love it. I also can't wait to see Martinez out there. He's going to do some damage. You know it, right? Jose Bernal. Did you guys see Hugo Lloris in the penalty kick getting nervous when the 32-52 started getting loud? I will tell you this. There's a reason why Hugo Lloris gets nervous on penalty kicks. They're not his jam. They have never been his jam. If you were going to fault the guy, that's the one, right? The numbers aren't great for him in penalty kicks. He tends to go the wrong way. It's a thing. I don't know why. But as a goalkeeper, you never know when that moment comes, right? It's on the shooter to do the job anyway. You're just there to mess it all up for him. So yeah, numbers wise, it's never been great for him. So I'm not surprised at all. Let's see here. Oh, Araceli's on here. She says, "What a win for opening weekend. Best part is players following the new rules, even though the replacements aren't implementing them." Yeah, they're learning. It's a lot to learn in a short amount of time, that's for sure. Especially when you're doing like co-ed rec league and now you're doing MLS. It's tough. Carlos C says team looked better than I expected, but it still looked like preseason form. Expect to see improvement week. Yeah, they're gonna build up, and they got to get used to each other. But you gotta like the speed, man. That was some quick football. It was nice. Yes, you can get caught playing that way, but it was fun. I was entertained. Carlos C says, wanted to see them play a full strength Seattle squad to really see what this team has for the season. No, they didn't get the chance to because Seattle had some issues. But when you field them, an over 30 team, these things kind of happen. That's where I think we're going to catch them too, because, okay, they bring these dudes in. Now, that young Argentinian was pretty damn good, I will say. He scored the penalty, but the minute he came in, it kind of changed things. We'll get him. Again, we're building too. And by the time we get to the summer, there's going to be other faces out there. The rivalry continues. It'll be good. Carlos C says, talk about old. I was in college when that album came out. There we go, sir. Thank you. Now I don't feel so bad. It's all right. It's for that music's forever. It doesn't age. I don't care what anybody says. Ray's on here. He says, just want to say new kit is even nicer in person, and the sound shirt is somehow even uglier than in photos. Dude, the shorts are a trip, aren't they? I just gotta say. They are a trip. I don't know why everybody's high on them. I'm like, okay, I get the 70s vibe, but the 70s weren't pretty. There was nothing about the 70s color schemes back then were pretty either. They just weren't. But I think they were so awkward they came to cool, I guess. But yeah, they're a little weird. They're a little weird. And Ray also says, still a man on my socials paying $200 on one shirt. How about spending almost that and you're still waiting for it in shipping? That's me right now. Thanks, Fanatics. I don't have it yet. Thank you, MLS. Get the job done. It wasn't that hard. It's a heat press. Like, what was wrong with you? But there it is. I'm still waiting for the damn shirt. So there it is, man. I gotta say, like I said, family, 5 people. Dude, really? 1K later? Yeah, I'm gonna complain for that. My cheap self. So there it is. There are comments so far, guys. Add more as you go. We will catch you guys towards the tail end as well, especially after we get into the RSL info, because that should be fun, of course, with an old friend entering the fray. So good stuff on you guys. All right, let's clean this up here and move on. We've got some community news to cover, so I'm going to throw this one over to Tony. What is going on in the community, sir?
3252 membership is finally available. Most of you know this helps us, keep who's in 3252, as well as, for all supporter groups, keeps their numbers up and everything like that. Also helps out when you need to get tickets for Carson away days and special swag. Again, this year there are now 3 tiers. The 3 tiers, of course, are the first tier is, of course, the scarf and the pin. I do like there's a little callback to an old scarf. I wish I had that one, but there's a nice little callback to a new one. The next level is a beanie, 3252 beanie. So especially when it gets cold, again, not in the meantime, but coming soon, very, very, very later soon. There's a nice little beanie, and then the last tier is a clear cross bag, fanny pack, whichever you like to call it. I know the name has changed in the new generation. I call it cross bag. Some people call it a fanny pack, but that is a clear 3252 bag, of course, with the new rules in BMO Stadium. No longer are you allowed to bring anything smaller. It's all clear bags, except for, of course, medical supplies and a baby diaper bags as well. So those are the tiers. It goes from, I believe, 30 to 55 and 65. So remember to sign up when you have the cash and are available, and remember to put your supporter group that you're part of, your name, address, and of course, this is also a good way to also support the 3252 for the tifos that we have to make, and paint wise and materials, as well as helping with drum repair and flag repair.
Things get beaten up really quickly in the supporter culture, man. It ain't cheap. Yes, ma'am.
Also, if you own a business or you can talk your business into sponsoring too, there's also the 3252 membership business level, which starts at 500. That's also something that you can look into to help support the 3252.
Comes with a beautiful plaque on top of the swag, which is pretty cool, I gotta say. So if you want to sponsor the 3252, which is a non-profit organization, all numbers included, just look it up. Yes, definitely. We need the help, all the help we can get, because it's not cheap. That's for sure. All right. Now there's also some viewing parties going on this weekend, right? Right, Tony?
Yes, it is. It's an early one, unfortunately, for here on the West Coast, even though it's still on the same side, but it's a really early game. 11:30. How early is it for you, Bam? Or later?
6 a.m. Sunday morning.
Yes.
The next day for him. Saturday for us. Sunday for Future Boy over there. So with that being said, we are going to Salt Lake. And the games will be at 11:30. Doors open at 10:30 for most of these places. So we'll start off, of course, with Black Army at Mount Low Brewing Co. at 150 East Street, Joseph Street, Arcadia, California. Lucky's will be at Lucky Baldwin's at 17 South Raymond Avenue, Pasadena, California. Empire Boys will be at Rowdy's Brewing Co. at 1002 6th Street, Suite A, Rancho Cucamonga. Crew will be at Angry Horse Brewing at 603 West Whittier Boulevard, Montebello, California. And D9U will be at 4000 West Washington Boulevard, Los Angeles, California. The other one, TSG, has not posted theirs or that I've seen, but most likely they'll probably be at Beer Gardens. We'll post these on our social medias when game day comes or the night before. As well as, speaking of TSG, they did post something that is kind of cool. There's a fundraiser going around that they posted to help build homes for families in butchers his name. I apologize to my El Salvadorian friends. Champana, El Salvador. It is a pretty much they help for like $5 to let's see. This fundraiser is to support the community that is organizing to build homes for themselves there, and the funds will go towards purchasing materials for roofing for 30 homes for this community. These are coffee plant workers, domestic workers, and street vendors that are lands and housings insecure due to the low and unstable wages they have earned and the high cost of rent and basic necessities in Salvador's. Let us join in their fights to secure access to homes and lands. And it will be on Sunday from 2:30 to 6:30 at the Art Space HP at 3382 East Florence Avenue, Huntington Beach, California. Featuring some Savvy books, poetry, art, and food, and music by G Funk Treat and Hot Mango. Donations, if you can't make it, Venmo, it will be at Carla Cavito. But yeah, so There is all our stuff for community news.
There we go. Shout out to TSG and the super original jerseys, by the way. Fascinating, man. They're kind of cool. I gotta say, they are cool. Busy. I dig it. I like it. Original. Yes, Tony.
Expos, I believe. Thank you, Bam, for Expos. I was like, I always have to go through all the names, and sometimes I forget some people, and I apologize for that. But Expos will be at Distro 14 for at 1837 First Street, Los Angeles, California. You must. This is a good one. You must wear LAFC gear. I know that's a given, but sometimes people don't do that. So you must wear LAFC gear or SG gear. Merch and happy hour. They have a happy hour for 25% off stuff. So there you go.
There it is. We love you, Expos. All hugs all around. That's for sure. All right, cool. So we got the watch parties. You know where to go watch the game. I guess it means we got to talk about the game. So let's get right into it. Of course, we're heading to RSL. It's an early one. Sounds like very early. We're just kind of early. Kickoff 11 a.m. this Saturday. RSL has an 0-1-1 record, 1 point so far. Both games on the road. They played against Miami opening day and lost in Miami. Yeah, unfortunate. I got to be honest. Very unfortunate that game. And of course, they got a hard-fought draw in St. Louis where they could have won that thing. Honestly, they did find their legs in that game. And so that's where they're at 1 point after 2 games and finally getting to play at home. Where we're, of course, 1 win, 3 points. Did it in style. So we move on to the next. Of course, there's been some changes to RSL, especially with the coaching staff. Kept the head coach, got rid of everybody else. Fascinating. And of course, a bit of a new look, but not so new look. They're now, fielding a 4-2-3-1 system. Of course, it is definitely the Chicho Arango show. He is now the captain of the team. He plays like the captain of the team. It is his ship. You can tell that. It's very obvious. And I'm not gonna lie, it's rather entertaining. We know they're rivals to us, that's for certain, right? In conference. But it is nice to see Chicho succeeding. I will say that. He did score in the last game. And I wish him nothing but the best as long as it's not against, us. Pretty straightforward. But he is the story, right? He is their center forward. Is in the 4-2-3-1. He is the lone man up front to get the job done. Of course, he does get some service from Luna on the left, who's also been pretty impressive so far. Ruiz and Gomez. Defensive midfielders, it's Ojeda and Ellie. They also have Vera and Glad as their center backs, with Brody and Hidalgo as their outside backs in the system. Of course, Zach McMath is the man in goal. What would you expect? That is what they fielded against St. Louis. I'm not anticipating a lot different. Of course, Brian Oviedo, Matt Crooks, who is actually a very good player, came in later in the game. Anderson Julio also made an impact later on in the game. And Fidel Barajas, who might all get time in this game as well. And some might break into the lineup. We could talk about that too. But I will say it's a team that's pretty darn well organized, but they have their moments, especially with the outside back, especially with some of the service to Arango where he kind of starves at times. But the dude generates chances. And so it's an interesting lineup to look at. Bam, have you got a good chance to look at RSL so far?
Just a little bit of the highlights. As you said, it is a Chicho show. It's get to Chicho, that's all you gotta do. Looking ahead though, I gonna be honest. Don't be surprised if the game gets delayed.
Ooh, what's going on with the weather?
So thunderstorms in the morning, top of 51, 31 at night with snow. So I expect there to be thunderstorms, so be prepared for that.
Woohoo!
Orange ball. Hoping for orange ball. We like snow games. Snow games are cool. For those of you heading up there, check you guys out. You're gonna have a fun time, right, Tony? I guess it's no shirts off Tony for this one if you're heading up there. For any of you guys, it's bundled.
Well, you forget. I don't think they're even a football team, but you forget people do take off their shirts even though it's snowing. So, but again, they probably
That is
have
true.
more heat and body fat than I do that keeps them warm. So, I will personally not be
But you
doing
do
that.
have coffee power. So, there's that.
They didn't have my horchata last game, so I don't know if I had coffee power.
Well, you didn't have it?
They
Wow.
had the
Well, he
coffee,
can't
but they
have it
didn't have.
because it was a win.
Well,
Dude, you
yeah.
messed up.
Okay, fine.
You can't have it until something goes wrong. So now you just got to find a new tradition. Sorry, man. It's how it works.
I know how it works. I know how traditions work.
Yeah, you're messing with superstitious people. What can you do? All right, so that's RSL in a nutshell. They can produce. Arango is just wily right now. I gotta say, he's in as form as you can get. Just watch the highlights, man. He's doing his thing. He's gonna be tough for us. Of course, that brings it to us and what we're gonna offer for this match. Again, the weather sounds funky, so get ready for the delays, as Bam says. I hope they play. Sheesh, that's not good. I anticipate it's Salt Lake, man. Like they're used to terrible weather anyway, so they'll figure something out. But yeah, it brings us to our lineup. Is it going to be the same? Is it going to be different? Beautiful thing is we don't have midweek matches, so you don't have to really about resting people. We also don't have a lot of old men out there, so I really don't have to worry about resting people. This is the younger side now. So is the lineup going to be that much different? I'll go to you, Bam. Defensively speaking, exactly the same, right? No changes.
Yeah, I'd go exactly the same. Unless a player's picked up a niggle during training during the week, keep it the same.
Yeah, I mean Segura's like waiting in the wings, right? He's ready to get in there, but you got to build momentum, right? You got to have continuity. So yeah, no changes there. I don't think anybody disagrees. And now let's look at that midfield. Will it be the same this time? I mean, if Bogus is up top, I don't think there's going to be any change. So I look to you, Tony. Your midfield setup, is it the same?
Believe it's the same. Like I said, it's a week off. There's we don't have no mid-season game, so I don't see why not. Like
No, nobody
maybe
limping.
nobody limping. I don't see a change. Controversial. Maybe we put in one of our, Duenas in there just to get him a run real quick. But I know he's mostly in the back. But remember, was a midfielder at one point when we used him for a while too.
Yeah, I mean, he has the versatility. That's why he's there. And of course, up top, last match we had Bwanga, Bogus, and what's his name over there on the right wing there? Oh, yeah, Overa. Yeah, I'm messing around with you guys. But yeah, that was what we had. The talk was Ordaz potentially getting in, and ended up being Bogus. We did eventually see Ordaz in this game. I gotta say, I don't think it's gonna change. I think they're very happy with what they saw. Why change it? Of course, the substitutes, if it isn't looking right, you've got three guys like chomping at the bit to get in there. So I would anticipate earlier subs than we've seen before in this game. That would make more sense, especially at altitude. Um, to see a more active approach to the substitutions in this game. I'll say that. I don't know, but you guys, what do you guys think? Is it going to be a little bit managed minutes because of the altitude? Bam first.
It is a chance, but we're such a young side, they can run a lot more. They can take the hit a lot more. So I don't see it being much of an issue.
Yeah, options are options. Tony, your thoughts? Who's going to break into the lineup for this one? And we know who we think the starters are going to be, but who's going to get their minutes in this one?
I could see Ordaz, of course, is the main substitute as well. Segura, I could see coming in. Maybe
Will Hernandez
Martinez.
get his debut or Angel?
Hernandez.
The new kid. Wait, Fernandez.
I was like,
Yeah, Fernandez.
there's a Hernandez on the team. I was like, oh god dang it!
And we're calling Bravos and Hernandez. We're having a good night.
I know, right?
Fernandez.
I was like,
Yes, Fernandez. Let's do this.
Maybe so.
Do you think?
Maybe I believe so. I could say this is a good not taking anything away from RSL because again, still in the season, no team has the level of picking order hasn't been really settled of like how the team's doing. It's still early enough, but I could still see that. This is a good enough team to we can try it out and see what we need to do moving forward, especially with again, everyone's waiting for what's going to happen in summer for us, especially because of our 2 open spots, very important spots that are open. So this is a good chance to like kind of see what's going on.
Work it out. Exactly. Exactly. So it should be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how they cycle this thing out. It will not be an easy game, guys. I'll just leave that right there. RSL, where they're at right now as a side is better than you might think. I know we've had a good run against these guys. I think last 5 games. I mean, in truth, we got a 1-0, a 4-0, a 3-0, a 2-0, a 4-1. Yeah, we've kind of owned these dudes for a little while here. In Leagues Cup, in MLS, it's been a little rough lately. But they are better this year. It is a different vibe, that's for sure. Keeping a clean sheet would be a hard ask in this environment, so we'll see what happens. Bam, requirements for a win in this thing. What do you think we got to do? Anything different than what we saw from the last week?
No, like you could turn around and say shut down Chicho, but just play our game. All we can do is play our game, do what we do, and then just keep pushing. That's all we can really rely on.
The death by transition, right? That's the story now. There it is. Tony, your requirements for a winning. What do you need to see from the boys?
Keep the momentum that we had moving forward, like this quick decision making on all ends of the field. Not saying to shut down Chicho because that's not really about shutting him down. It's he as we've all seen him firsthand in like in front of our faces. He'll score a goal when he needs to score a goal. It's more of stopping the other players just to distribute to him to get into that position to stop for the goals. Of course, altitude is going to be a big factor, as it always is. Colorado, Salt Lake, they're just so high. Is just to get to keep moving forward. But in order to get the win, we need Dini to get on the board. I want him just to get that kind of the goal already in. I would like Martinez, if he does get in, to get his goal as well, just to get him on the scoreboard, and the Oliveira as well. Just get our prime stars getting already in season to get the confidence. So moving forward, we can keep this momentum. I'm not saying like go undefeated, but just when the games are tough, steal a couple points.
Yeah, you're on the road. You take what you can. I'm with you on that. I think that the limiting of opportunities towards Chicho is going to be the story. It worked for Salt Lake to a point. It worked for Miami to a point. Basically, you gotta harass the providers, right? So Ruiz, Luna, Gomez, you limit their time on ball. You limit the chances coming from the back to target, because they're going to target him. That's what they're going to do. And a lot of it comes from the air. So yeah, the guys are going to be busy dealing with that stuff. I will say the last time we played, Murillo and Chicho got into a pretty good slugfest. You guys remember that? They were beating the crap out of each other last game. It was interesting since we know how close they are off the field. That's going to be required again. They're going to have to do that. They have to rattle him a bit for our own sake. So again, get used to the physicality, limit time on ball, you'll get your result. That's how it works. All right, I'm going to throw this actually over to our supporters. They've got some things to add in, so let me jump on there. Let's see what we got from you guys. Okay. Tony Villegas says our defense still needs help. They got to get used to each other. That's for certain. And losing a guy like Chiellini is a big effect. That's for sure. Mendo, what's up, fellas? Mendo, Joseph, you're always in the front line. How was that Campos cross? Beautiful. Like it was flawless. Yeah, I definitely had the angle there. I guess there's some benefits to doing setup every game, going in before the stadium's actually open. Yeah, things we do. Yeah, it was beautiful. That's for sure. Oh yes, Carlos C. He is out for the year. So Carlos C said, did I hear right? Lorenzo Del Valle got injured. He got injured. What I heard was like the last training session before opening day. He went down with an injury that's going to cost him the year. So it sucks, man. I'll just say it just like that. It's terrible. Young kid, promising. It does put us in a situation where we're probably going to need to be looking for some coverage there. Yeah, it stinks. It really does. I feel so bad for him. But yeah, his season, from what I understood, is done. That's for sure. Mendo says, "What's the deadline for transfers?" Off the top of my head, I believe it's like we still got a month. Like it's late for MLS. We can buy pretty late in. Yeah, it's a very long one.
By what I found is the primary transfer window shuts Tuesday, April 23rd.
Yeah, it's a long old time. So that's fine. The issue is the other leagues and their transfer times. I would say this. I'm not looking for a big name until after the Euros, and then we'll have fun. It's just one of those things, right? The Euros are here, things make it interesting. So that's where I'm at. Mendoza says, who should be the free kick taker, Bogus or Atuesta? Good situation there, but Bogus kind of acquitted himself well with that shot. So we'll see what happens out of that. Or is it going to be Bouanga trying to muscle in? Yes.
For me,
go for it.
Bogus takes one. He scores. He takes the next one. He misses. Atuesta takes the next one. Keep it rotating.
Rochambeau. I call it Rochambeau. Figure it out, boys.
You score, you stay on.
There it is. There it is. Mendo says we're grabbing 3 points in Utah. I like your optimism, sir. Soccer USA, are we getting a Rage Against the Machine comeback concert? I mean, they've had some appearances, right? At like Coachella and stuff. So I don't see why not. We'll see. Honestly, though, I will say, Zach, I'm not going to speak for the guy, but he's been in the North End before, quietly. He's around. He's a fan of the team before making appearances. He's not the kind of guy these days that just jumps in for appearances. Not his vibe. So I think it was more of love of club and wanted to show up for one. And I think the club was kind of asking him. So it's all good, man. I'm happy he did it. And I would take a comeback, wouldn't we all? Mendo says LSC gets Segura return just to lose another center back. It's tough, but hey, Segura looked fine. He will get better as he goes. The man missed an entire season, and now Devaya's got to go through that. So it's rough, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, I like this from Soccer USA. Thank you for bringing that up because I didn't bring it up as I should have earlier. More important, U.S. Open Cup or Leagues Cup? I'll tell you right now, the one that's actually grown up, U.S. Open Cup. It's got the actual history. The history of American soccer is in this tournament. All of the teams from the past have been involved. It does link soccer history to present. It's one of the few things in this country we have because historically, it's rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall, and just a bunch of failure for U.S. soccer. The one surviving thing, the one thing that sprouts every year and doesn't die off is the Open Cup, and it's been a constant. The only thing that cut it off was COVID, right? That's the one thing. To kill that off to me is insane. And so I will say Open Cup anytime. Leagues Cup is a temporary thing. Do you really think that's going to be here 10 years from now? Let's be real. Do you really think it's going to last? It's going to last to make some dough. But a decade from now? I don't think so, man. Something else will come along. You know how things work with MLS. This is a come and go tournament. That's the money grab, and that's it. I'll go to you, Bam, and I go heavy with this. But your take?
US Open Cup's got more history, more importance. And take a page out of Tony's book earlier, F the Leagues Cup.
Yeah, I feel the same way this year. I might not even attend. We'll see. Tony?
With our short history for MLS, everyone, I want to say this for Euro snobs in Europe and in general all over the world, this keeps up with everything over 100 years of, I believe, close to over 100 years of actual football in the States. So I think the importance of U.S. Open Cup to continue on is very important. Leagues Cup can, of course, it's a money grab, especially now with, them pushing the golden child of Messi all the time, and that's why. But I'd rather have the U.S. Open Cup, Leagues Cup could eventually be a cool thing moving forward. But again, that's because at the moment, Leagues Cup is money. That's why it was made. It's money for the Mexican side, is money for the U.S. Side, and a little bit of Canadian. But that's because we have a couple teams. Again, still doesn't make sense to me about that one, but
it is what it is.
It is what it is. But just to reiterate, I know I've been saying it mostly, but I'll repeat it again: U.S. Open Cup all the way.
All the way, yeah, without a doubt. And it's funny how we're trying to abandon this thing, and then when you watch in England, Liverpool lost their minds winning that Carabao Cup, right? And it used to be nobody cared about it, and now all of a sudden, all the domestic cup competitions in England are now valued. FA Cup's always been there, right? But now the other lesser cups, have you seen it? They're buying into that more than they ever have before. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's fine. You don't abandon your domestic tournaments. Just it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'll move on from that. I could go all day. But yeah. Save the Open Cup. And I heard there's some rumblings about, I guess the 7 teams that aren't going to be connected to CCL or whatever are going to be required for their A teams. That was the rumor that was flowing around. So that means we'd be in it, right? We'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope we play for it. Ilie wants us to play in it. You heard the interview, so let's do it. All right, Tony Villegas. I like that. That'll be fun. MLS needs to play in the Copa Libertadores. Could you imagine that challenge? Oof. We ready for that one? That's a tough one. I'm down. That would be a proper education. That's for sure. So, hey, I'm down for anything as long as you don't abandon your own stuff. All good. All good. Mendo, what are your expectations for LAFC this season? Let's see. I'll go out on a limb. My expectations are to go and try to win everything. Full stop. We have 2 more DPs coming. We have a strong team already. It will get stronger. We have an easier schedule than most because we're not locked into all these crazy tournaments. So we get to rest players. My expectation is to go for it all. Why not anything else? Tony?
Right now, the Supporter Shield, and then once we're in the U.S. Open Cup, if we are the cup, that's the last silverware we need in our domestic trophy case, and then of course MLS Cup. It's all the trophies again. I've come to with this team that if we don't win a trophy, it's a failed season. And we have to have that mindset. Right. It's no longer, oh, we're the new club. We just want to be here. We're made the playoffs. No, it's to get into the next echelon of a big club. It's everything or a cup. And if it's not, then it's a failed season. I don't care if we made playoffs or we made the run. Like, yeah, losing in the finals is to be there is great, but winning everything is what our mentality should be.
Simple. Bam.
Win everything. Plain and simple.
How about Leagues Cup? Push.
Like on push. Supporter Shield, Western Conference, MLS Cup are a must.
Yeah. And then if you can steal the Leagues Cup, you steal the Leagues Cup. It's a 1-month tournament standalone, so
I
doesn't interfere with anything.
I don't say we steal the Leagues Cup. I say we win the Leagues Cup. I rather than be like, okay, we have to give you've made it into Champions League, or yeah, I'm gonna keep calling it Champions League for us. I don't whatever the Champions Cup or whatever it's called. But I want every team to make it to be like, oh, you made it because the LAFC has already won all the cups, and so we need the alternatives to get you guys into it. That's what I want.
Let the alternates in because LAFC ran the table. I'm good with that. I'll take a run the table team. That's good stuff. All right, Mendo. I mean, we just answered it right. Aim for Supporter Shield. Yes, no doubt. Anthony Bermudez says, do y'all think Vela resigns? He's back in LA. His locker room hasn't been cleared out yet. I know, isn't that funny thing to be said? And then Boanga's made, he's chirped, right? He wants him back. I think he comes back. I don't think he signs for designated. I think we get what we want. Thank you, Mr. Bogush, for that. We get what we want. He becomes the super sub this year. I'm okay with that. We shall see. I think now, seeing what we saw, yeah, he's going to want to be a part of this show. Bam, you think so as well?
If he comes back, hopefully it's not for a lot of money. I look at it is I'll have him back, but not for what he's been getting paid recently.
No, it's going to be a pay cut. There's no doubt. There has to be a pay cut. That's the line in the sand. Without a doubt. That's where it's at. If the numbers aren't right, the numbers aren't right. Pretty simple. Dave wants all the hardware. Tony's also looking at Vela's super sub. Mr. Bermudez says, if you look on the LSU roster, Vela's on the roster somehow. Yeah, they're kind of lazy with that, right? Dave wants him at the right price point, and Mendo goes, Leagues Cup we play at Vancouver. God, we hate playing at Vancouver. And Tijuana at BMO. That's what it looks like. Yeah. Cholo's match could be interesting. I know they're struggling, but still. They will bring the fans. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's like a hop, skip, and jump with them. Like for more
Yeah.
supporters, it's like it's a 4-hour drive, 6-hour drive with traffic. So that would be a fun like game to watch and see. And if we travel to there, it's again 6-hour, 4-hour drive to Tijuana.
Dude, it's 2.5 for me. Got the 15, man.
I live in the valley. It's a little bit longer for me.
I know. For you, it's far. For me,
Bam,
it's
it takes about a whole day.
Yeah, Bam's gonna fly here. That's just a game in TJ, dude. That's an experience. But I know we don't get those. We don't get those because Leagues Cup doesn't play over there. They play over here.
Been a TJ once.
That's all you need.
I was 16.
That tends to be when people go. But yeah, it. That's it. We'll let that go. Miguel Jacobo says if Vela came back, he's about to be 2019. We're not ever going to see
Vela. That was special.
But elder statesman Vela that understands his role with the club would be lovely. The skill set's still there, guys. Speed ain't, skill set is. He could still do magic, and we know that. Again, we love the guy, man. He put us on the map. Got an MLS Cup, all that stuff. It's our first big signing. Yeah, we want to see him back. There's no doubt. But again, you can't hurt the club in the process and put yourself in a situation that prevents your competitive edge. We need everything. That's what we need. There we go. All right, guys. Thank you for the comments. You guys are amazing always and forever. We're at that stage. Time to close this bad boy out again. Thank you, everybody, for all that you've done for us, supporting us throughout all of this. 334 episodes later, it's all good things. So I will go to you boys for your final thoughts. And this time I get to start with Bam. He knew it was coming to him. So Bam, final thoughts, sir.
Final thoughts. Obviously, it's an early kickoff game this weekend. If you're thinking what can I do Saturday night with no LFC in town, have a look around. I'm pretty sure it's going to be on Fox Sports over there. But at 6:30 p.m. and at 8:30 p.m., you have 2 NRL games playing in Las Vegas. So 4 teams from Australia have flown over to Las Vegas to play some of the rugby league. The 6:30 game, you got the Manly Sea Eagles versus the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and the 8:30 game, you have the Sydney Roosters versus the Brisbane Broncos. So you're going to see a bunch of NFL-sized guys running each other with no pads, no helmets, and can only throw the ball backwards. Recommend try and watch it. For those that are traveling to Utah, stay safe, stay warm. Don't come back with a cold. Don't come back with anything like that. Just keep yourself warm and all that. For those that are going to watch parties, reach out to go enjoy yourselves. Reach out to a long lost mate that you haven't talked to in a while. Say, hey, do you want to go out and have a drink? Remember, it's okay to not be okay. Conversations can save a life. Your mental health is important, and other people's mental health is important. Reach out to each other and have fun.
There it is. And I must ask, what is a rabbito?
A rabbit.
What is it?
A rabbit.
It's a small rabbit.
With fangs or what? Rabbit.
No, just a small rabbit.
That's the weirdest name ever. Wow. Okay.
They-
What's
yeah,
the toe
they
part,
wear-
man?
Have a toe?
It's
You're just as
weird.
good as
It's
mine.
weird.
Is it for? Oh, let's have a look. For a team that's been
I'll let you
around
go on
since-
that. I just
Yeah,
got
yeah.
It's so odd, man. It's all right. It's all right. I didn't pick on you. All right. Final words, sir. Final thoughts from Tony.
Final thoughts, of course, is as I reiterated with Bam, check on your mates, make sure you're good. Mental health is important. Struggling with a lot of things, no matter what it is, it's always good to reach out to someone. You are never alone. Even when you think you are, there are always people there for you. And, just, hang out with them. Of course, if you're going to the watch parties, have fun. If you're going to RSL, drink responsibly because it is high altitude. It hits you a little bit harder, and we don't need anybody getting into trouble up there. For people still here on March 3rd, if you are able to make it, there's a nice doubleheader for our women's soccer Gold Cup at BMO. It's the U.S. women versus, I believe, Ecuador. Apologies. Ecuador. If I get the flag right, I am. And then of course, Mexico is playing that same day as well. So, and then the day before, you can see the Brazil-Argentina match, as well as Canada playing that same day. So BMO will be jumping, especially because of the Women's World Cup. And again, surprising. I'm just say this: surprise, win and loss. For the surprise for Mexico beating the U.S. and the U.S. losing, because I know it's a transitional period, but still, what the hell happened?
Women's football is leveling out, man. Teams are rising up. It's healthy for the sport to be more competitive. Dude, right? Something had to give eventually.
Yeah.
Congrats to Mexico on the win. That's for sure. But yeah, I think it's the trend. It's the growing trend in women's soccer is leagues are going better across the world and financially better. And I mean, if you watch Liga MX, the women's league in Mexico, it's expanding and getting more competitive. And this should happen. It should be more competitive. So it's good. Good for the sport. Let's be honest. All right, I guess it's my turn for my final thoughts as I rant and rant and rant. Again, I am thankful for all of you. It was great to see the community once again in the North End. Thanks for checking in with me, guys. I had a lot of people come up to me that support the show and support the North End, and it's always fun having conversations with all of you guys. The community aspect was real, and that was nice to see again. Can't wait to get back out there again. I wish this match was at home too, because we don't want to stay away for too long. But yeah, good times, that's for sure. Let's hope for better times as we move forward in another adventure. So again, hats off to you guys for doing what you do best. Tifo looked proper. That was fun. So good we had to do it a second time. That was funny. But yeah, it is what it is. So good on you guys. All right. So that's it. Final word, boys. Bam.
Stay golden.
Tony.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.